Hello, darlings. How are you doing? Nancy here. Welcome to this new podcast for the energies around at the time of the Pisces New Moon in March 2022. Can't believe we're here already. How have you been doing? I'm laughing at myself because it's been a bit of a roller coaster in my world. But yeah, wondering how it's going for you, really. It's all going so fast. I mean, we kind of knew it would, but anyway, here we are. We've got the next few minutes of our lives together with me channeling this energy. So we'll see. Just take what resonates and leave what doesn't, as always. And also a reminder that it doesn't matter when you're listening because you'll hear what you need to hear at the right time for you anyway. So it doesn't matter if you're not listening at the time of the Pisces new moon. You'll hear it when you need to. Yeah, so for those of you who are new here, this is absolutely not intended to be some kind of fortune telling exercise. We're all on our own journey. I just simply channel energy so that some people get a heads up and a better understanding of maybe what you're feeling or what you're going through at the moment. And there are energies behind us, around us, above us, supporting us through whatever we're going through. These are always just opportunities to get clear and get into alignment so we can live the best life possible. And sometimes that can really feel a bit uphill. But, the sun always comes up again. But I know it can be lonely, it can be confusing. But, we're all on this journey together and don't be so hard on yourself. A lot of people are trying to heal at the moment. And, it's just important to have self love and compassion all the way. Something I struggle with myself is self love and compassion, or actually taking the right action to show myself that love. So I get it, I understand. But actually, on that, just something about healing, this idea of healing, where we're not really broken. We don't really need to heal anything in my humble experience anyway. Like he this journey is for me, and this is just my opinion, it's about just re-remembering and reconnecting. So sometimes I feel like people, they keep on going forward saying, kind of almost distracting themselves with this pursuit of healing like it's something outside. And that not everybody feels like that, but this idea of healing, I think it can be more helpful sometimes to just think about it anyway as, hey, I'm already healed, I just kind of forgot, and I'm just putting parts of myself back together, um so that my soul can grow because I'm on this journey. And yeah, so sometimes this idea of healing, like I said, it can be a bit of a distraction or maybe even an ego story of this kind of, I'm not there yet, so I'm not ready for this or that. But you aren't there, you're only here. And here is where you're meant to be. You can never be there. You're always going to be here, even when you're there. And you're enough and you're healed and you're on a journey of reconnection and re-remembering your wholeness. That's all. That's kind of what happens when we come back here, in my humble belief anyway, in my experience. There's kind of re-remembering your wholeness, and that we are all connected. And yeah, maybe you've got some amnesia about separation, and maybe you know other people that do. Or maybe you slip in and out of it. Sometimes you really feel that connection and that wholeness, and then at other times, feeling, yeah, sort of alone in it. But anyway, yeah, it's just remember you're not alone, and if you feel like you are, call me. So just real quickly, for those of you who don't know me yet, I'm Nancy. I'm what you could call a shamanic practitioner, therapist as well. And I've been doing this work for 22 years at least. Yeah, pretty much to the day, actually. Happy anniversary to me. And at the moment for this podcast, one of the things I do is channeling information about the energy around the moon cycle to help people who want it to navigate the time that they find themselves in. And there's a lot of shifting, growing, expansion right now. And we're being guided and supported to go really within ourselves and find self love and balance inside in order to raise the vibration of the collective, really. And yeah, the sun will come up again when we're ready to embrace the light. And yeah, if you want to, you can find out more about me in the show notes. But this podcast isn't about me at all. So let's crack on. You can get yourself a notebook handy if you want. Get comfy, or just go about your thing. However you feel is fine. So yeah, just sink into the moment. And just feel into where you are now. And there's this moment that we're sharing together across space and time. And just taking a nice deep breath. Just breathing in for as long as you can. And then breathing out for 7. Breathing again. And just beginning to let everything go from your day, from your week, from this year. And just thank yourself for showing up and taking a bit of time to explore your inner realms. Be a conscious person, a conscious creator, seeking to be able to manage your emotions, what you're going through, seeking to be a light bringer, a light worker, however you identify. And just really, sinking into who you are, even if you don't know what that means right now. But you're here and you're now. And that's really enough. So if things start to feel chaotic, you can just stop what you're doing, anywhere you are, and pay attention to your breath. Pay attention to your surroundings. Feel your feet rooted on the ground. And fill yourself with cleansing breaths and just letting go of any lower vibrational anything as you breathe out. And just feeling everything starting to calm down. And just be in receiving mode for now. Many people are really doing cartwheels and bending over backwards to be of service, and that's fantastic. But sometimes we've got to make a bit of time for ourselves too. So this podcast is, a gift for you. It's intended to go alongside the regular moon ceremonies that I do online. But you can absolutely just listen to it on its own and go and do your own thing. Okay. Okay, so we're talking about Pisces, which is associated with the sacral chakra, So, yeah, kind of sexuality, creativity. So, if that's feeling unbalanced, there may be blocks in that area. And I'm always a big fan of using tea to help with clearing those things, amongst other practices. But the teas for this sort of areas come through to me as calendula and hibiscus, of course. Um, Chanting, meditating at this time could be really useful, and sending love and light to that area of the sacral chakra just below the belly button. It can be really useful with the energies that are around at the moment to be dream journaling, allowing any emotional releases, and making space for any magic and intuition that wants to come through. But yeah, I said dream journaling, but any kind of journaling can be really useful because there's there's a lot coming through. Um, okay, all right. So I channel, and this means information comes through to me as words, visuals, all sorts, and so then the human in me or part of me needs to what's the word? Go through all of that and relay it. That's the word I'm looking for. It's happening already now, so that's why I'm kind of all right. So sometimes I can sound not like me, or I kind of pause. So just bear with me as the human tries to filter and relay this information. Um, and also, it's good to know it doesn't always come out in a linear way. So I do recommend a notebook if you've got the opportunity to do that. And just again, it's an interpretation, by the way. The only being who knows what you need is you. So this is just potentially just a bit of support on your journey. Okay, so yeah, new moons are about beginnings and fresh starts generally, when you want to grow things into your life, practices, those sorts of things. Phew. But this Pisces energy is often about endings and discovering a deeper understanding, perhaps of yourself or what you've been going through. And yeah, maybe closing one chapter in order to move on to the next. Mm. All right, so yeah, but there's definitely potential for a much deeper understanding of yourself right now. Uh, so yeah, be ready to bring in better matches for your vibration, and where especially where relationships are concerned, like kind of more vibrancy to match your higher vibration. Yeah. Okay. Okay, they're showing me an image of a person. You can't see them because they're obscured, blending into the darkness and then just being lit up. So this is gonna, well, it might require some really deep transformation, letting go and rebirth. And this rebirth is going to be super transformational if you allow it. Um, yeah, I'm just trying to figure out what's the difference between a rebirth and a transformation. Okay, so transformation is happening like on a total cellular level rather than rebirth being just physical. Okay, and mental. All right, so bringing more balance and completion to something in your life, the support for that completion of something, where then a cycle is going to stop being repeated and then balance is going to be restored, and um, lots of support to get clear about your needs, and getting your needs met first, giving them to yourself first. So yeah, a deeper understanding of yourself. So this is a time to get your routine sorted, to be journaling, spending time alone, spending time in nature, um, and also spending time with like-hearted souls where you've got those strong connections already, nurturing those connections, um, and remaining self-aware. Don't get too caught up in the weeds of how you feel. They're showing me that, and then you get distracted from actually getting out because you're trying to get the weeds off. Okay, you're not who you thought you were anymore. Okay, so there's a lot more to be revealed about your path, your direction. So be open to listening to that silent voice inside. There's energy. So the energy that's around, this is where it's directing us towards if we want to surrender and go there, okay? So yeah, I guess that goes with the deeper understanding. Thank you. Okay. Okay, so this could feel quite pressurized, quite intense. And it's really important. This breathing is really important to breathe through that pressure, sending yourself love. And if you're feeling stuck, yeah, and just really under pressure, that resonates with me. The next step is going to be revealed, but you just have to allow the release first. You have to create the space. Okay. So just taking your time. Again, breathing. Take your time. Feel into whatever it is that's coming up for you. Okay. Trust. What is for you is not going to pass you by, and if it's not for you, just something better is. And really got to trust that now. Obviously, the timelines have split, the paradigms have shifted. Um, Most of us, if you're listening to this, you probably come this. We've all come the same way, leaving all that fear and the distractions behind. We've seen through the illusion. And maybe there was an expectation of sort of like the kingdom of heaven or Atlantis was going to be waiting, but it's still under construction. um but everything that's happening is for not just for our highest good but for your highest good. So just be patient, just breathe, don't throw the towel in. Yeah. Okay. Don't be tempted too much by the dark or getting too serious into their feelings. Okay, so okay. All right, so in the collective, there might be a want, a desire to push things along with magic, dark practices, etc. right now, because people are fed up, people are tired, um, but don't do it. You got to feel the feels and get clear with a pure heart. It seems like a really strong message. A pure heart. This is a route to self worth and self respect. And the more difficult the terrain, uh, the more beautiful that destination is going to be. Not that we ever reach a destination, but you know what I mean. So, yeah, don't be tempted by that lower vibrational stuff. You can be aware of it, don't shut it down. You can be aware of maybe you feel like taking the easy option, or just like having a tantrum and fucking it all off. um, but this is a purification of the heart, and that can sting. All right. Mm. Okay, so I'm getting image. I've been getting this image for a while actually. Um, Taking flight for the first time. So those lower vibrations are really falling away and we're learning to fly. And that might feel really confusing and really scary. So just take your time. The ground is actually inside. And maybe it's like the leap of faith. But the leap of faith, I think, kind of implies that something's waiting for you to catch you. But taking flight is knowing that it's inside you. And that's what they're showing me, like almost a desert scene with yeah, the birds just taking the flight for the first time, and that's where we seem to be, and it can be really uncomfortable and feel ungrounding, and a lot of us don't like to feel ungrounded, especially me. um, but it's okay. We've got to trust. Um, the ground is inside, not Madre Tierra in the physical necessarily. Okay. Mm. So, a message about the seriousness humans can put on emotions. So, yeah, again, just you don't have to get too caught up in it. Try and see the funny side, try and see the lesson. And okay, so for many people, gifts may be emerging now, and that might feel scary as hell. So yeah, maybe noticing things out of the corner of your eye, or intuition, or not being able to sleep so well, whatever. Um, yeah, you might notice hot hands. You might just, yeah, just your gifts might be really accelerating at the moment. So just breathe and breathe and breathe some more. And even though this is about your journey, you can obviously turn to people that you trust, turn to a special person if you need to. Some of us do need to ask for help, and that's the lesson. Um, you just got to decide for yourself what needs the work, what feels uncomfortable, what makes your ego make that noise. These are the signposts as to how to grow and be clear. And you're ready now. You're not wait. You don't need to wait anymore. And okay. Okay. You're saying the soul is really speaking. Listen, listen, listen to the soul. And you can do that by just stepping back a bit. Connect with the higher power, which you are also the higher power, my darling. Um, develop your connections with spirit and with yourself. And as we say in Peru, it's all in you. It's all in there already. So you can step back while going into your own heart space. Mm. So yeah, that can be done, especially through practices like journaling, meditation, the things I mentioned at the top anyway. It's all in you. Yeah. It can be very tempting to want to get that from another person or from another practice or from another plant medicine. But nothing is as great as that magic in you, yeah? Okay. Okay. So the current, we're going to call it external situation in the world, is really causing many to feel separation, the myth of separation, more and more, but also and equally, it's bringing many people back together and making them love more and more deeply and use their energy in more useful ways. So, not giving in to the fear and not giving into, yeah, any ego, any victim mentality, or the opposite, savior mentality. There's no mentality to it. It's just like, this is what I can do from here, is send love and light, and then I'm going to carry on and mind my own business and look after myself. So focusing on that, it goes a very long way, because each and every one of us is a beacon of love. Doesn't always feel like that, but that's what's underneath it all. So um and you may have already been undergoing a lot of reprogramming, and you might be tired, and you may already be feeling these energies, and you might have completed this journey too, as far as the energies that are supporting us now. But a lot of this is about finding out how you really feel and what really matters. So just allowing a lot of the external stuff to not be a distraction. Yeah, easier said than done in many cases, but there's nothing like loss to really highlight and elevate your consciousness, because you become grateful, you become mindful about what's really important to you. And especially now, they're showing me the web of connection. Every thought, everything is connected. And we're moving towards newer, more solid connections, truer connections, seeing who you are, seeing who you do trust, and who you open up to and how. So these connections are coming more and more. I've been saying that actually for a few podcasts, haven't we? These connections are growing. The people are waiting for you, and you're waiting for people, even on an unconscious level. There's a lot of magic happening right now. Yeah, real solid connections. Okay, so you might have noticed this is a new moon, but it feels like another full moon. um, so yeah, there's a lot of shedding, a lot of support for shedding, letting go. It doesn't have to be difficult, she tells herself. um, so when you let go, nothing can hold you down. You're rising up into, that angelic higher consciousness. More of that higher frequency comes then to match you where you're at. Um, mm, okay, so it's also possibly clearing, and especially in relationship sense, for your parents, um, patterns, and that of your ancestors as well. So it might not be yours, which is why it's important to not make it too much of a head thing. This way, journaling can be helpful because you just scratch it down, and then it's out of your head, and then you've got a bit of space. Mm. So this support really, it's about, stepping into more of your power, ready to know that you're complete, and embrace endings as new beginnings. And so yeah, it might feel up and down in one moment, really feeling like celebrating, the next minute just feeling like lying down in a hole. It's okay, you're having a human experience. hmm okay, so again, real deep transformation, spiritual evolution. you know you are spiritual, having a human experience here, and it's about moving forward, and especially in relationships, in all kinds of relationships. But it's probably going to take a bit of work, a bit of conscious maneuvering. And if you've been kind of cutting off from certain emotions, or afraid to look at the things inside, well, it's coming. So just get your diving gear on. Remember to breathe while you're down there. um I know I'm laughing, but like, oh, okay, gotta laugh. Okay, so yeah, shedding relationship habits, patterns, cycles ending there. Now to make way for a new you, a new way of being, a new way of showing up for yourself and others in love and in relationships in general. Okay, so, oh, that old analogy. Support is really there now to teach you, like, put on your oxygen mask first. And that's more than okay, because how can you be of service to others if you aren't in service to yourself first? So, like, seriously, think about it, you know? Mm. Okay, so even if it does get a bit messy, it's okay. Um, this is about what's in your shadow, and it's messy, when you when you decide to, like, clean out the attic or clean out the basement or that old junk drawer. It's going to be messy. It's coming out of your shadow. It's healing you on every level. There's that healing word again, but reconnecting you, allowing things to flow. And as we said, it might be ancestral too, so your DNA. So this is a really good opportunity to reprogram. Just get rid of it and create the kinds of relationships that you want to experience. It's really important. And okay, so it's a good time to remember that you are a part of everything that's in your life, every person, every situation, everything. Everything has consequences, and yeah, you looking after yourself or not looking after yourself has consequences. So this is a good time to take a proper look at what is in your life, what's going on in your life, your choices. Are they still working for you? As always, moving away from victim mentality and taking responsibility for your own happiness and your own fulfillment. Nobody's going to do it for you. Mm. Okay, so might be a good time to ask yourself what no longer serves you. I think we're always doing that these days, aren't we? Um, yeah, letting go of those things that are holding you back, stunting your growth. Radical responsibility. I'm sure I've been saying that a lot recently. Taking radical responsibility for yourself, and you can create anything. So, what is in the way? What is in the way? That thing that you don't want to let go of. You gotta let go. Okay. So, if you truly wanted to show love to yourself, what would you do? On the flip side, I don't know if it's quite a flip side, but if you truly wanted to show yourself love, what would you let go of? These seem to be quite important aspects right now. What would you do? What would you let go of if you wanted to truly show yourself love? Mm, okay. All right. So something new coming in over the next few months. Intense in some cases. Okay. But remember, you're not falling. You're learning to fly. Okay. More clarity will be coming through. The clearer you get, the the more clarity there'll be. Funny enough, and intuitive messages. So make space for that. Hold space for that. Mm. Okay, so some people are going to feel like they need to look back on times that they were not seen, heard, etc. The relationships with the family, the parents, and maybe past romantic relationships or any relationships, probably. But it seems to be especially around parents and processing through that now with the mind and the eyes that you got now. So, yeah, it could be a good time to go back and comfort that inner child if you need to. Forgive the people who've hurt you and they were doing the best that they had at the time. Mm. So, parents are also just playing a role, their own programs, etc. And it's really important to not let the past live in the now. Don't give it space in the now. So, let it go. Okay, so perhaps a lot of stuff around parents can come up in the next few weeks, maybe in the next few months, in order to clear you for you to be in your kind of most conscious, most aware state, and just learning to be or remain objective and seeing those who've hurt you as hurt, and the acceptance of that. How does that change the dynamic within you? What can you learn or what have you learned from that? Okay, so even though it's important to be, to have those connections with like-minded souls, it's also important to stand on your own and honor yourself. So not needing that external support, knowing that it's inside. Mm. So consideration, yeah, Okay, what's your life showing you through your body, through your experiences? Your life's trying to show you things all the time and trying to guide you in the right direction. Okay. All right. So, a lot of people are going to be feeling separation and aloneness, and that's going to lead to victim mentality. So, don't fear that. Yeah. There might be some deeper conversations that need to take place in order to free the heart. I could see a heart in a cage. Yeah, so freeing the heart from stuff that's happened in the past. So now, perhaps you don't fully show up, or you hide part of yourself, or you don't put yourself first, or whatever it is, or you might overcompensate or be codependent or whatever. Um, yeah, and also maybe have played a part in someone else's heart being closed and caged. So these conversations might need to come up. Um, so be ready to have those conversations and to take full responsibility. Another way you can do it, like if you're not in contact with somebody, is you can write them a letter. You don't have to send it. You can burn it, offer it to the earth, whatever. But just to clear that dynamic, and on what on a level, you set yourselves, you and the other person, free. So yeah, you could spend some time with the fire or even a candle, and offer up where you've played that role. Ask it to be transmuted and take back what was yours that you didn't mean to put on anybody else, and give back what was also put onto you. And yeah, you can do that by then offering it to the fire or burying it in the earth. Quite nice things to do. Okay, so it's important to feel safe, I think, because probably because of the ungroundedness that's coming with this energy. So feeling safe in yourself, but knowing that you've got people around you, that you can turn to if you want to, even if you just want to sit in silence with that person, or just, hey, I'm here, you know? So it could get intense this time, but it will absolutely make you stronger and more of who you want to be, who you know you're becoming, who you know you already really are underneath the programming. It's a bit like a rite of passage energy, evolving to the next stage. I'm seeing like little animals growing, and um, yeah, lots of like tribal imagery, that rite of passage tribal imagery. It's good. It's good. But it's time to, yeah, be grown up and have those honest conversations. Check in on where you are creating circumstances, perhaps to protect yourself. Look at your relationship patterns. Forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for, how you've behaved or things you didn't necessarily understand before. You can forgive yourself. You can do that out loud. You can do that with somebody holding space for you. You can hold space for yourself. Um, there's a lot of power in asking somebody to hold you through something, in that vulnerability. Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of opportunities to be vulnerable coming up. But that's beautiful. It's a really beautiful thing. So, yeah, taking responsibility. All right. So, something for you to think about, perhaps like a journaling prompt or whatever. What do you need to create this connections in relationships that you do want? What is it that you need to feel connected to another sentient being? But especially in romantic relationships, relationships are moving in a whole new direction now. Um, yeah, it's not the time to go into that. But yeah, what is it that you want? What is it that you're seeking? What is it that you can offer? What is it that you need to feel that connection? Especially where romantic relationships, partnerships, but all relationship dynamics really. And you might have triggers and patterns as well. Um, Mm, okay. So facing up to if you feel unlovable or alone or not matched or fearful, all those things, like, what is it you're not giving yourself? Mm. What do I want to change in relationship with myself so that my other relationships can flow better? It's all connected, it all comes from your heart. So, yeah, give to yourself. Try not to look outside too much. That's different to being vulnerable around another person. Um, it's when you're looking for somebody else to kind of heal you. That's different. So, yeah, just giving to yourself. And yeah, we live in a physical world and we need physical connections as well as all the other stuff. So, that's more than okay. And this can feel more vulnerable on the earthly level because it's the raw truth of the situation. You can't talk yourself into or out of something if it's, existing grounded in this reality. So yeah, had Peggy's just come to say hello, my dog. Um, so yeah, if anything's getting in the way of you being authentic, if you're silencing yourself or whatever, well, what's that about? Um, yeah, all the illusions are falling away. No, not kidding ourselves anymore. Gosh, there's a lot of information, isn't there? Okay. Okay, so there's a lot around the heart, clearing the heart. It's opening, it's finding new depths. And you're going to sense that in other people, the people who are able to go to the same heights and depths and expansion in the heart as you. And yeah, if there's no match there, you're gonna go separate ways most likely. Yeah. I tend to like go through what's coming up before it comes through in the collective. So like talking about heart opening, for example, um, just last week, like I spent a week with a friend of mine, and oh my god, I was just reeling in that open heartedness, like buckets of tears every day. Um, and yeah, I kind of that's just what's come to me now, that heart stuff, like ripping into new depths of that and connection and just working out what doesn't serve anymore. But on the other side, you're clearer about who you are and what you want. And no matter what, you're going to be okay. So just, keep showing up and take care of yourself. And if you're feeling human, it's okay. Just manage yourself. Some days that's all you can do. Um, and I'm pretty sure that you've got tools and healthy ways to manage that. So use that. And if you've got people there to support you, I mean that's amazing. It's great. So trust and support in taking leaps of faith, but also not rushing anything, getting into your heart and your dreams. What you thought wasn't possible is possible. So in many ways, there's nothing to lose but the stuff that was holding you back. And the mind and the ego will give you reasons, but the heart won't. It just knows. So if it's unclear, just keep self-inquiring until it's clear, and take your time. Need to see beyond the illusions, and there's likely to be a lot of projection going on um, over the next few months. So just having compassion for others and self awareness for yourself and compassion for yourself. So what you can do is take yourself on a journey or what might be called a shamanic journey or a guided meditation. You can dip into other lives, past, future, time's not linear. What's the story behind the pain, the fear, etc.? Is it just what's happened to you in this life, or is there more? Get into your heart chakra as much as possible. I think that's why it's important to be around people who make you feel safe and who get you. You can always see a professional. um, yeah, trust and just jump into that massive love field. Phew. Yeah, know how to soothe yourself. Even just hugging yourself or doing EFT or tapping or whatever, saying soothing things out loud as well as your usual routines. That's what I've been doing. It can go a long way, you know. Just keep reminding yourself that it's all love, man. Yeah, self-soothing. Okay. All right. So yeah, what do you need? No more pattern repeats. Give what you need to yourself first. Be honest. This is a opportunity for deep reprogramming, healthier relationship with yourself and with the people around you, for mutual nourishment. And in the kind of romantic field, space for two whole people or more, whatever you're into, but just making sure there's enough room for everybody to kind of get what they need and being honest about that, about what you need and where your fears are. Peggy's backing me up there. Don't know if you heard her. Yeah, strengthen your self belief. You do have choices and you can empower yourself. So, yeah, you might be ready now to surrender something from the dark. So, you can ask for help from these energies, these forces at work that are still part of you. Um, you know, the fire, the people you trust, can ask for help from all of these places. That doesn't mean an expectation that's going to do it for you, but just for help, and allow that integration. And then the growth can be quick. So just don't fight. Don't fight. Okay. So that feels like the end of the transmission. Phew. Okay, so I hope you find it helpful. If so, please do feel free to share this with others. Might help them too. I hope so. I'm still in the UK, so I'm able to work with people in person for, shamanic healing, Kambo, cacao, new moon ceremonies, etc. Next new moon ceremony is Wednesday, the 2nd of March. So yeah, please reach out if you want some support along the way. We're all in it together. And thank you so much for listening, and as well to all the people supporting me in all the ways, especially on Patreon. And I'm always so humbled and delighted to get messages from you guys about your journey and how much you appreciate my work. Like, thank you so much. And just remember, it's always darkest before the dawn. And we can get through this by, pulling together and diving into our heart spaces and having love and compassion for one another, but especially for ourselves first. And it's going to be okay. And you don't have to do it alone. If you think you're doing it alone, you're joking. I'm telling myself that too. um, yeah, it's okay. We're just growing. We're just growing. Again, see that little seed that's pushing its way out of the ground and eventually grows into the gorgeous oak tree or the tree of life, You are loved, you are supported. Oh yeah, I've added a medicine playlist on my Spotify. You can find that on my link tree. It's called playlist, I think, and then Corazon Curandera. So it might be helpful to some of you. You can follow it or me if you want to get updates and stuff. The link will be in the show notes, so I hope you find that helpful. The next Dieta in Peru is in July, and again, all the contact and info is in the show notes. And I think that's just about it. So, okay, angels, light workers, rainbow warriors, star seeds, lovers, children of the earth, all of you, thank you. And I'm sending you so much love and rainbows from my heart to yours. And I hope to see you soon, if not chat to you soon. And I just wish you all the best on your journeys. Please do reach out. Ok, te quiero mucho. Ciao.